Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, Ashley's Treasure, and today I want to work on the letter V. Yes, it was in April, but it is May now, and I'm still working on it. I was determined, I already had these things planned, and so I want to commit to them. And so for the letter V, I was going for something vintage and during Victorian era. Granted, Victorian era is more antique now, but and also I wanted to use vellum. And what gave me the idea was this book, because this one has some photos in here that are kind of like the Victorian era, and then some of the pages are actually vellum, like these. See how these are vellum, but they have pictures on the vellum, which I thought was really cool, really interesting. But some of these are quite big, so I was trying to find ones that were small enough to do kind of like a large tag. But yeah, look at those. Look at her, that'd be a great one. So yeah, and then there's just also just photos as well throughout here. It's all about different jewelry, but this would be a great picture because that whole Victorian era. I was debating about cutting out some of these jewelries. Might not though, but I found some that I like the size of. I think there is this one, which I don't know if you can see because this one is vellum. I really like the size of her. She was smaller than the other ones compared to the other ones. They were just showing the whole face, and this one is on vellum. And then I found these ones that aren't on vellum, that's just on a normal page, but I love the size of these two, and I love those photos as well for what I'm going for. And I kind of want to make three, we'll see. So I'm kind of going off with these three portraits for my Victorian girls. And then I was looking for some smaller ones. I was going through some pages, and first I found this one, which I really loved. So I was because I was afraid those ones were too big. And then I do have this one as well, which is possible. And then I found this lady. She was hanging on to this little girl, but I think she's kind of in that era. But I would have this part cut off though, for smaller ones. But I really like those ones, and I kind of want to go with the vellum. And so I think I'm going to go with the bigger ones, save these ones for smaller ones. To them side. And then since these two faces aren't vellum, I do have regular vellum to do some stuff with, possibly. And then because I'm going for a Victorian look, I do have some paper that I haven't shown yet. I recently got this from Hobby Lobby. I'm going for, these are 6x6, so at least 6 tall, might trim down a little bit. And I was thinking possibly this one. I think she might look good on that one. I was thinking this one, but upside down. I really like this one. Which I don't think it matters too much because a lot of it will be covered. I really like that one though. I thought that one would look great with this one, because it's a little bit darker and it has that darker color there. I think I'm going to use this one for her. And I could use the same one for all three. This paper is quite thick, cardstock. And then there was one more design that I was thinking of, which was this one, which I really like, these little swirls and stuff, which again doesn't really matter because there's going to be a lot of other stuff over it. I think I'm going to grab one of these. Another one I was thinking about was this one. Should I do them all different so that way they all have their own? Yeah, let's go with this one. Okay, so I got those. Got some vellum. And then I am going to use a lot of lace. I want a lot of layering on this to decorate them. I do also have this kind of like fancy doilies, which has all these like flowers and stuff in it too, that I thought maybe I could cut some of these little pieces out because I want this very feminine. I have a box full of lace, but I have this kind. I have like 3 different layers of this type. Like this one's like a medium one. This one's like a large one. See, it's like the same exact thing. And it is gathered, but I can easily undo that. And then I also have this thinner one, which is kind of similar to it. I got quite a bit of those. I do have these ones. I could cut out some of these fancy cuts. Sorry, I don't know why I keep going to the left. But you can see the difference. I think I'm going to go more with a cream color than white. So I got that. Yeah, and then I just got a bunch of different lace in here. I just grabbed a bunch because I want a lot of different lace layering going on. I have this really soft one. I tried to go with like off-whites and stuff. This one's very soft and I got lots of it. There's this type. This floral one, and you know, I can always cut some of the flowers out as well. That's a really nice one. I like the color of it. I have this one with the flowers. This one I really like. I like cutting these little flowers out too. I actually did that on that little part. That was when I did the letter P, the pop tabs. So yeah, that one's really pretty. And I can always put some ink or something to make them darker if I wanted to. This one I thought was really nice. This would be like a nice base layer and then have other ones layering on top. To have this like in the background. This one has some thicker flowers. I thought I could fussy cut them out and some little circles and stuff. I thought that might come in handy. This one has some pink lace and some white lace. This one's a nice peachy color one. And then this one is coming apart. I got like I got 3 different types of lace on here. I really love this one. I don't have a lot of it though. But I like the flowers. And then I do have some more white. I don't know where the end of this is. Oh yes, this one was more of a polka dot kind of. And then I do have this thin, very pale green. And then I have some little pink roses. And then I also have, because the photos, I can get them out, it's about jewelry. That's what the book's about. And you can see all their jewelry and everything. And so I thought about adding, like, I do have like some little charms, you know, rhinestones and stuff. Sorry, I had a little visitor. But I got these little rhinestones and I got like these cream colored ones. And then I do have some pearls too. But I also have these colorful little, all different sizes I thought would line up with that. But I don't know if I want shiny like that. Although I do have some clear ones. But I think I'm going more towards the pearls. So I grabbed different size ones. I do have this set that has all the different sizes. I have this in pearls, the white pearls. And then I do have this bag of pearls as well, which are a little bit more off-white. Compared to these ones are quite white. And then I just have some different size of rhinestones on here, and these are kind of, how do you explain it? Like, they're kind of like glass rocks, you know, and then they got like the gems here, you know. But yeah, I have some more pearls. And then I have these swirly little sticker pearls as well. And I have a couple of these ones as well that I thought maybe I can use on the background too. I also have this box of ephemera that I recently got from Joann's that has 563. I just a couple days ago posted a haul of it. They have some acetate pieces in here which has some gold on it, but if you use the back of it, it's in silver. And there were some actual like cute little designs, a lot of floral stuff I thought maybe I could use. And then I do have vellum as well. I went through them and sorted them out. I got all the chipboard in here by itself, and then I put all of the I separated these two, the you know, paper ones. I put all the flowers in here, and then all the, you know, frames and stuff in here. And then they also had vellum, so I thought maybe I could use some of this vellum, because I do have some like ovals and stuff, some frames. I don't know if you can see the frames. I could possibly use two with the ladies, but I think these might be too small for those ones. I don't know. Just gotta get them out and play with them and compare them. But I thought I could possibly use some of these. First, I think I am going to fussy cut these ladies out first. I'm going to do that off camera really quick, alright? I'll be right back. This one is a little hard to see because of being vellum, but with a pencil I'm kind of drawing these little darker parts so I know where I want to cut to help a little bit so I don't confuse myself, and so I don't accidentally cut her hair off. The white parts are easy to see, but her dark hair is really hard to see, so I'm just kind of drawing where I could see the pencil. This part I'm not too worried about, but yeah, just kind of, yeah, like that, because it's going to be somewhere around in here. Yeah. Should be about right here, so this much of her will be shown. So yeah, gonna go with that. Okay, I cut them all out. I also had to use the pencil to help outline certain parts, especially her face, because it doesn't look bad further away, but when you look closer, it's just a bunch of dots, and so it really tricked my eyes where to cut. So I definitely had to use a pencil to outline that so I had a line to follow, but I think I did good. I think I figured out which one I'm going to use on which. I thought I was going to like this on the darker one, but it made it too dark where it was hard to see her. You know, she just blended in too much. And I actually really liked her on this pink one. I think that helped her stand out, and I like the swirl coming out from like her shoulder. So I think I'm going to have it like right here, cut right here. And then I really liked her on this soft one. And this part is where she was, so I kind of want this to the right side, so that part will be cut off in here, so it should be like coming onto the tag. And then I'm thinking about cutting like right about here. These are going to be quite wider tags, but 6, so probably, because these are 6, so probably like 5 by 6 or something like that, which I am going to do next. So first, figure out how big I'm going to make these. So here's my trimmer. See if I can do this with my mini one. Actually, I don't think so, because 6 by 6 enough. How much do I want off? These are 6, so let's cut an inch off. Well, I want more than an inch. So maybe 1.5 inches. Let's try that. Or should I make it a little bit thinner? I want enough room on the side so I can do a lot of lace and stuff. So yeah, let's cut 1.5 inches off. And the name of this paper from Hobby Lobby is Distressed Floral. And this was, I thought it was 40 or 50% off. These two I like as is, but this one, I think because of being on the side, I need a little bit more cut off. Like another inch, maybe. I need like this much cut off. They don't all have to be the exact same. So let's do 3/4 of an inch. So how big is this? This one is 3 3/4. I'm just basing it off of the picture that I'm using. Because we cut off a little bit. Yeah, I like that a lot more for her. So this is actually a couple weeks later. Off camera, I cut a bunch of die cuts, ones that had that vintage feel to it because I wanted some vellum, and so I used all my die cuts with vellum, and I did that off camera, and it ended up taking a long time, and after a while I just kind of lost my mojo. Like, I couldn't get in the groove again. I've been struggling for weeks, and finally one day I just sat down and started going at it, and I think that helped a lot. But I'm starting off with some lace, and I really like this one because it was quite thick, and I thought that was good on the bottom because it looked like flowers, you know, growing, kind of like a little garden. That's kind of like what it made me think of. And I'm just going to trim off this extra piece that's hanging off that didn't really have any design on it. And at first I was debating if I should have her over or behind it, and I ended up putting her on top of it instead of behind it because I thought it would cover too much of her. But I did cut out 3 of those from that big trim that I got, and I did I did cut out some of the flowers, but I did get 2 pieces of this part, which I thought would look really good as like corners on the 2 sides. And so I'm going to use my art glitter glue for this. The bottom piece, the first piece of lace that I glued down, I did use my glue stick. That does work. You just gotta put a decent amount down for it to stick to, being lace. But this time I used art glitter glue, which I do need to use a decent amount because I noticed that whenever I use lace or fabric, it absorbs quite a bit of it. So I gotta put a decent amount on there, and then I'm using that as like my template for the corners, and then I'm going to use that same piece and transfer it to the other side so that it's symmetrical and then the exact same. And then I'm going to glue another one on the other side. And again, I'm going to use the art glitter glue, and see, I'm using like decent amount, you know, on each part, although I'm not gluing the netting part because of course that'll go straight through. But all the white parts, I'm putting a decent amount all around it, and like the edges, trying to make sure that all those parts stick well. And now I'm just lining that up on the other corner. And I love how that looks. Like, it looked like it's meant to be, although it did overlap a little bit, but that's okay. So I'm just kind of positioning her and thinking, okay, is there anything else I want behind her before I glue her down? I noticed there's a little spot there that didn't get stuck all the way, so I'm adding a little bit more glue. And then I think it's okay because I think the rest I'm going to do like on the left side of her, so I'm going to start gluing her down. I could have used my glue stick, but I used my art glitter glue because of all the lace. I want to make sure that it sticks well. So I'm making sure it's all coated. And now going to glue her down. And then I'm kind of pushing her onto the table to make it line up with the tag. And any extra pieces I just keep trimming off. There's little pieces of laces hanging off and stuff like that. And now just pressing her down really good, trying to make sure it's all stuck well. And now I'm going to add this piece that I fussy cut off from the trim, the very long piece. I end up using the off-white ones. And then that's when I realized, oh yeah, I forgot about all the vellum pieces. Like these two parts of swirls I did with my die cuts. This piece is from that box that I got that had like 500 some pieces with the gold on it. It was too small of a frame to like fit the girls through, so I'm just using half of it, and so I'm kind of curving around to follow that swirl to it instead of being just cut straight. I could have trimmed it down a little bit too, but I didn't this time on that piece. But I did like that right on top, and I have so many pieces, so I'm like, why not use it, you know? I did like the butterfly on that piece of trim that I fussy cut out. I thought that looked perfect. And then I was still trying to figure, I wanted some lace running across the bottom, and I just couldn't figure out which one. Like it just, I think it's because they were so, a lot of them were very white, and I think it was like too white, and I just couldn't find like the right like height, like how thick I wanted it. I did kind of like that one, but just didn't look right. I'm just going through all of them trying to figure out which one I like the most. I got this one that's that creamy color one that's very soft, and I kind of like that more. I think it's because it had that creamy color, it wasn't white. And I liked that one. I think that was the one I ended up using. So yeah, I'm trying to guess how much I need, and then I'm going to trim that down a little bit. But I didn't want it all the way across because then it will block the lace that I put on the very bottom in the back. I just want it over her, and so I'm getting all the pieces that I'm the vellum and the lace I fussy cut out. I'm going to put it to there, like no further than that, but I just want to make sure they're all placed right, like so. They're going to be like layering. And then I thought about using, I found a little leaf too with that gold foil. I just couldn't quite find the right place yet. I thought I could put some of the flowers that I cut out from the lace too. I thought I could layer onto it. That's a possibility. But I definitely like that butterfly on that swirl right there that I cut out. But I did like the vellum swirl behind the lace that I cut out. So it kind of has like it looks like the same thing, but like faded in the background, so it doesn't dominate it, so I can still have some layering going. So I'm going to go with that. I did use my glue stick first and kept kind of patting it on there. It was a very difficult piece because of being such thin vellum, you know, it was a little difficult to glue it down. But I did try with the glue stick first, and it did work, but there's like some parts that didn't stick enough, so I did go back and use my art glitter glue to get those fine parts. And then I got my antique linen, the oxide, and because when I glued it down, it really faded in there and you could hardly see the vellum. So I wanted to use this ink to help highlight that so you can see it. And plus, I wanted this to look more vintage. It was looking too, you know, new, pure, you know. It wasn't distressed enough, so I accidentally blopped a little bit too much there on that lace, which kind of bugged me. But I just kept adding more to it. I did add to the top as well, as you can see, and just kind of make it look a little bit more aged instead of being so white, you know. And just kind of going all over. And then I'm also adding some on her because from the book that I cut it out, it's just white, you know, white and black. And so I want to have her look a little bit more aged. So I use that on there as well. And just going all over the place, putting a decent amount, but not like too much, you know. But lightly fading it all in together to look like one piece, like they all went together instead of multiple different pieces. And now I'm going to try estimating where to put this little swirl on the right side, but which lace to put underneath. And I think I finally settled with this one that I end up liking. And so I'm seeing how high and how low I need it, where to trim it, because I'm not going to use the whole thing. And this time I'm going to use the art glitter glue, because this die cut that I used, the Vellum, it's so fine and it was kind of hard with the glue stick. So that's why I'm using my art glitter glue. And just I only did like half of the bottom first to get it positioned exactly where I wanted it. And then I'm going to go back or trim the bottom off. And then going back and gluing the rest on the top. And I used my tweezers, that really helped too because of it being so fine and little. And then just kind of dabbing it down. But I just use tiny little bit so that it won't blob everywhere, you know. But the art glitter glue did work. Both of them do, the glue stick and the art glitter glue with the Vellum. Now I'm going to add some distressed ink or distressed oxide on her as well, that part as well, and see how much it stands out now. Now you can really see it. So that made a huge difference. So I'm trying to fix that part because I kind of want to spread it out more because I did a little bit too much on that fabric. But I remembered I'm going to use this piece and I'm going to layer it on top. And I'm using the art glitter glue on this piece. Sorry, I'm kind of off camera a little bit because I was paying attention to what I was doing and I wasn't paying attention over the camera. But I'm using a decent amount of the art glitter glue all over the place because again, whenever I use lace or fabric, I notice that it absorbs a lot of it. So I got to use a decent amount here to make sure it sticks well. And then I'm going to use my little tweezers again to help layer this down like so, to position it just right, because right now it's very gluey in the back and I don't want glue blobbing everywhere, like mistake, you know, putting it down. I want it just right, and it worked out perfect and I like where it's at. And so I'm just kind of pressing it down to make sure it's all stuck well. And then I'm going to use some of the antique linen again, but I should have let it dry first. It was not dried yet. I was impatient, and so I'm kind of repositioning it and pressing it down. And then here is the butterfly, and the Vellum, just like, you know, when you find like stickers and stuff to have that white border around it. Well, that's kind of like with this Vellum. It was very thick around it, and it was just like too much. So I'm trimming it down a little bit. As you can see, I just trimmed a piece off, and now I'm just trimming the other side of it off to kind of get closer to the gold foil because it just seemed way too thick. So yeah, there we go, trimming that down, and I'm gonna have it laying on top of that big swirl right there. I really like that, so I'm just adding some art glitter glue and positioning that just right. And I had to do it just right because it's partly on the tag and partly on the lace and being clear and all. But it worked. And then I was trying to figure out if I could use this leaf because I have 2 pieces gold foil. Normally when I use something, I like them in 3s. And so I just couldn't figure it out yet. So I'm getting the lace down to see how much is covered. And then still trying to figure out where in the world I could put this leaf. And I thought instead of the left side, maybe I could put it on the right side. Maybe that'll look better. But I thought, what about if I add more? And it just, that one just was way too big, just didn't look right. But I liked it on the right side a lot more. So again, I'm going to trim down the, you know, extra border around it, the excess, and trim that down so it's not so thick and closer, not so much vellum, it's more just gold foil. And I wanted to lay the lace down on the bottom to see how far up so it wouldn't be completely covered by the lace on the bottom before I glue it down. And then I used the art glitter glue and making sure I position it just right. Now I'm going to use this lace on the bottom. I'm going to just glue the bottom of it, not the whole thing, and a little bit on the sides. But I'm going to use a decent amount on the bottom so that it sticks well because again, it absorbs a lot of it. And so I'm just like dabbing it down. Trying to press it down. now I'm going to trim off the extra pieces. And I notice it's still not stuck well, because see, it already absorbed all of that. So I just need more glue and keep pressing it down. And then I'm going to just glue the sides right there on both edges. But the top of them will just be hanging up. And then there's still some hanging off, so I'm going to trim that off. Sorry, I'm a little off camera. There we go. I'm just trimming all the pieces that's hanging off. And just needed a little bit more, because it still wasn't stuck all the way. And then I had these two flowers that I cut out from another piece of lace, and I thought I could use that in her hair to look like a hairpiece, you know. I thought that would look really pretty. And then there was also like a leaf to it as well, so I'm just trimming the extra netting off of it. And then I'm going to have that in the back right there. And then it needed like a smaller one on top. And I thought maybe I could use these pink ribbon roses. And I really liked it, but it was just so dimensional. And I thought, I don't know if I like that. You know, it's just too dimensional. It sticks out too much. So I did get the pink lace. And I cut out 3 little flowers out of it. And I liked that a lot more. And so now I think it's safe to start gluing them down. So I'm going to glue the leaf down first, and my tweezers helped a lot. And then I'm going to glue down I did grit that fine green ribbon, that pale green, and I just kind of like folded it in half and just trimmed a small part to make it look like leaves, just like those ribbon roses, the ones that were 2-dimensional. I'm kind of going off from that, and because I really liked that, and so that it can add some more green to it. I'm going to do 2 of them, one on one side and one on the other for the flowers. And now I'm going to start gluing the big flowers down first. Again, using a decent amount. The art glitter glue, one's going to be more towards the left, and I accidentally didn't position it right and blobbed glue all over her head, but luckily it came off. And now I'm going to use do the other one on the right side. I kind of had it overlaying a little bit, and then these 3 little pink ones I'm going to do in the center. And then I thought I could use more of the green lace by using it on the bottom. I really like that, and that way I could have more green in it than just the leaves. And plus I thought it goes well with all these, like, it looks like she's got flowers next to her, so I thought, you know, having some light green, pale green on there would look good. And I really like that. Instead of, because the bottom of that lace wasn't the prettiest, so I thought having that green over made it a lot more prettier. And then I wanted to have a centerpiece onto those little flowers, and I tried the rhinestones and I thought that they were just too shiny. So I liked the flat pearls a lot more. So I'm going to use one in each. I had to cut them off because they're actually strips. They're not individual. So I just had to snip off one at a time. The tweezers helped because of how tiny they are. And just one at a time, just keep gluing it in the middle of the flowers. The tweezers helped a lot. I like that a lot more. And then I was thinking maybe I could add some more inside these holes of this lace that I fussy cut out to, you know, add some more pearls to it instead of just having it at that one spot. And I really like that idea, so I just added a little blob of glue inside of each one of the holes. Only in the holes. I didn't do like any on the swirls or anything like that. But I, again, just kept trimming one at a time and adding them inside the little holes. And the tweezers helped a lot because of how tiny they were. And now I'm getting old paper. This is a distressed ink, not oxide. I like using the ink to distress the edges a lot more than the oxide. And this one is kind of a unique color. It's similar to the antique linen, but it has like a green tint on it. But it's kind of funny because it seems like every time you use it on different paper, it's like a whole nother color. So I do like this one because it kind of gives that little bit of green to it, just like the green ribbon that I use, that fine ribbon. I think it kind of complemented it, and I really liked how that looked together, so I went with that one. I went all the way around, even on the lace, but just like the edges, you know, and kind of helped make it look a little bit more aged, more antique. And then I had an idea. I was looking for, I do have some gold thread and I just could not find it. Normally I always keep it with my Christmas stuff because that's normally when I use it, when I make my Christmas cards, and I could not find my gold thread. So I cut a very thin, a very fine strip of gold foil paper, and I'm going to use it to follow the necklace and kind of make a gold necklace out of it to complement it. Since, you know, I'm doing her hair, like I wanted to do her necklace as well. I thought that'd be really fun, kind of challenging though. But again, just I had to be very, very fine. That's why I used my trimmer so that it would be kind of straight. And then just lightly bent it. It did help adding glue first and then position, you know, the paper on the gold foil onto there just right. So again, I'm just kind of trying to bend it, glue it down as I position it exactly where I want it to follow that necklace. And now I'm just going to trim off that little piece there. So that's like the first necklace, and then there's another necklace higher up. So I'm going to get another fine strip with my little trimmer. Again, I'm going to add the glue first. This one I did a little bit too fast. I got too much glue out too fast because you just need a very fine amount. So I'm kind of dabbing that up a little. There we go. That's better. And now I'm going to add the next layer of foil on there to make the second necklace. And the tweezers kind of help too for little parts. Trying to make it curve just right. It would have been easier with the thread, but I was looking everywhere and I just could not find what I did with it. It wasn't with the Christmas stuff. Now just trimming off that extra piece, and then I'm going to do I was trying to get the oops, sorry, my head's in the way. I'm trying to get the extra glue off of there. And now I'm going to add a very tiny little strips because it's kind of hard to see, but it looked like strips hanging off and then little gems on it. So I'm doing the little strips, and I think I did like, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7. I think I did like 7 little strips as it was going down. So I'm just adding a tiny bit of glue and then a fine piece of that foil going off from the necklace and just position it just right. The tweezers helped a lot for this being so small and tiny. I felt like I was playing the game Operation. You know, when you have like the tweezers and you gotta get it just right, you know, that's what I felt like I was doing throughout this process. And then I thought, after I did all that, my camera, I think, died on me. I end up adding these little gems on here. I got all the light pink ones. My phone died on me. I didn't realize the battery died. And I noticed that it looked like the same color pink as the flowers. Since then, once I glued it down on, it looked completely different. So that was really bugging me, because it ended up looking more purpley-ish than pinkish, like the paper and the lace flowers in her hair. So I watered down some gesso, and with a really fine silicone brush, I'm like adding just a dab like over it to kind of tone it down a little bit to see if it'll make it look any better. So I'm just doing one at a time, very finely, because I didn't like that color of the pink. I should have just did the white ones, or just adding the pearls maybe. But I wanted to add more pink to it. Just then I end up not liking the color of the pink, and that was the closest pink tiny little gems that I had. So yeah, the one in the middle, I ended up doing 3 gems. The 2 next to it, I did 2, and then the 2 at the ends, as they go out, I just did 1 at the bottom. So I did like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 little gems. And sometimes I add a little bit too much. I had to like dab it up and then add a little bit more, because I didn't want them white. I still wanted to have that pink tint to them. And I just kind of looked at different angles to see, you know, because being dimensional, I'm trying to make sure all angles are kind of the same, toning it down a little bit. That's one of the great things about gesso. You can always use white gesso to tone things down when it's like too bright. And I liked that a lot more. I'm just kind of looking closer and like blowing on it to make sure it's dry. And here's a close-up. I'm liking this a lot more. You can see the little shine. You can see the gold foil shining. Still not the exact same pink, but I think it looked better than before. And this is the tiny brush that I used. It's like a little silicone brush because I couldn't find my other tiny brush at the time. And it worked. And see, I used the lightest pink one on there, and it looked the exact same, but as soon as I glued it down, it looked completely different. It looked darker. So here is an overlook of it. Here's like a little close-up. I end up just making 2 of them. The second one I end up doing off camera because this was just taking so long, and the video's already long, but I did make a short video of it, so stay tuned for that. And I hope you liked this and got inspired. If so, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.